There's a whole nother type and form of practice that you talk about, deep practice. So can you just tell us a bit about that?
Yeah, it's interesting. I mean, practice is this great word. It's incredibly, fantastically vague. It's a word like food. Food. I'm going to go eat some food. I'm going to go do some practice. It's like, well, there are, in fact, a lot of different sorts of foods you can eat. And what the talent hotbeds show us and what the science shows us is that there are as many varieties of practice. Mm-hmm. Some are very nutritious and some are junk food. And what I saw in the talent hotbeds was a very particular form of practice, which you could call deep practice. Deliberate practice is another word for it. And what it refers to is an intensive reach beyond your current abilities. An intensive reach beyond your current abilities. So you're on the edge, you're staggering a little bit, you're making mistakes and fixing them.
Yeah.
Now, and that's a strange sort of paradoxical thing, because to make a mistake, we often think of it as a verdict. We often think of it as a sign that we're not born to do something. But in the talent hotbeds, you constantly see, whether it's math, music, sport, you constantly see this expression on people's faces as they're practicing. And it sounds sort of strange to say, but it's the face of Clint Eastwood. It's this make my day squint, the face of somebody who's reaching for something they really want. Fingernails are scraping against it and they're reaching again. And it's an uncomfortable place to be emotionally, because you're making mistakes and you're doing it again. But when you look at what they're doing, that's what you see. And also when you think about it, you need to build a new connection in your brain. You don't have the ability to play that song on the piano, that make that golf swing, or interpret that financial table. Yeah. So you have to build a new connection. And that reaching and that struggle and that making a mistake and fixing it is the way that we're built to do that. That's how we make new connections in our brain. And it feels funny, feels bad at times, but that's what deep practice is, that intensive reaching and repetition.
Don't forget, hit the subscribe button so you hear about all the videos as soon as they're released.